What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. So, short show today. Not a whole lot to talk about. I hope you all enjoyed opening day yesterday in Major League Baseball. But there were two coaching firings I just wanted to cover, and then that'll be it today. A lot of sports are on tonight. We have the Sweet 16 finishing up tonight. Baseball continues tonight. Friday Night SmackDown for wrestling is on tonight, so a bunch of stuff is on tonight. The Philadelphia Flyers, the other day, fired John Tortorella in the midst of his third season with the team. He finishes 97, 107, and 33 with the Philadelphia Flyers in just about 3 seasons. Did not make the playoffs in either of his 3 seasons. 31, 38, and 13 in 2023. Last year, 38, 33, and 11. No, 31, 38, and 13 his first year. Slightly better last year. 38, 33, and 11. Went from 76 to 87 points, but still was buried in a tough Metro. Did not make the playoff. This year, 28, 36, and 9 with 9 games to go. Even with a win last night in their first game without him, they are still, I believe, 8 points out of a playoff spot, and they're the second worst team in the Eastern Conference. They've been just in free fall mode. They have not really been good all year, but throughout the year, especially in the first half of the season, they were at least competitive, hanging around the wild card picture, but have just bottomed out for the most part in the recent days and weeks, and are basically completely out of it at this point. I think they're 8 points out with 9 points to go. Second worst team in the Eastern Conference. Only team worse than them is the Buffalo Sabres in the Eastern Conference. And look, Torts has had an incredible career. He's got 648 career wins. That's 9 all time. He won a Stanley Cup back in 2004 with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He's a good coach. Obviously, you know the deal with him. He's can be a lot to deal with. He has clashed with a lot of different players over the years. I don't think he's an elite coach, but he's a good coach. You need a culture change. Just someone to kind of right the ship that's kind of gotten off train's gotten off the tracks. He's your guy. I'm not sure if he's the guy that's going to take your team to the next steps where he has trouble. He did win a cup back in 2004, but that was 20 plus years ago. He was with the Rangers for 5 years. He was good there, but couldn't get over the hump. But he went very poorly in Vancouver. In Columbus, again, he was able to right the ship for a team that was really, really bad when he took over. But again, he was not able to get over the hump, and then he eventually gets let go. And then, obviously, Philadelphia, they tried to do the same, and he wasn't able to. It goes a little beyond him. That roster is not very good. It's old. That front office with Daniel Briere as the general manager has not done a good enough job. But I do think it was time for a change. He was probably going to go at the end of the year anyway. I thought after his first season, when he was just clashing with everybody, it was a whole mess. I thought he was going to get fired. I'm surprised it only took this long. They looked a little better last year. This year, maybe you think, all right, maybe they take a jump into the postseason, but it didn't happen. And the Flyers, they've been doing this for way too long. It's not a great organization. They've been mediocre to bad for a very long time. They haven't really sniffed the playoffs. They certainly haven't had any success in the playoffs in quite a while. Probably pushing a decade plus at this point. They might need some just sweeping changes across the board, because they're just year after year we think, oh, maybe this is the take a jump, and every year it's just like, the same old crap with the Philadelphia Flyers. But John Tortorella out in Philly. I wonder if at the end of his career, if I had to guess, he'll get one more shot. He's been around for a long time, and he's coached in the NHL full time since 2001. He's been doing this about 25 years. He's 9 full time in wins. He's a former Cup champion. I'm sure he'll probably get one more shot. Probably no more than one more shot, but I think he'll get one more shot. NHL loves, recycling the same old coaches over and over again. If you've, won a lot of games over the course of your career, especially if you have a Stanley Cup, you basically will get the job as long as you want to coach. But he's a decent coach. I'm sure he'll find be on his feet somewhere else. Probably next year, or not the year after. In-season coaching firings are very common in the NHL. I could see a team, maybe not, even if they don't pick them up in the offseason, somebody comes out of the gate really slow and they make a change. I could see them looking to him to right the ship. But John Tortorella is out in Philadelphia. This one does not make any sense. Going to the basketball side of things, the Memphis Grizzlies fired Taylor Jenkins in the midst of his 6th season with the team. The NBA playoffs is in like 3 weeks. The Memphis Grizzlies are tied for 5th in the Western Conference. They are 44 and 29, tied for 5th in the Western Conference. Just a game and a half behind Denver for 3rd in the Western Conference. How they're only 3.5 games behind Houston for 2nd in the Western Conference, and they fired Taylor Jenkins. Supposedly it was a shock. He was called into the GM and the owner's office this morning, and was informed that they were letting him go. I don't understand this at all. Jenkins is a good coach. He took over a team that was really, really bad and had been bad for a few years. When they fired David Fizdale earlier in the 2020 season, actually had him competitive, 34 and 39, was 38 and 34 in 2021. Ends up making the playoffs, and that was the bubble season. The following year in 2022, breakout year for them. They won 56 games. You lose in the second round. Then in the 2 years ago, they won 51 games, lost in the first round. That was either John Morant, had all the off the court stuff. You win 51 games, you do get upset by the Lakers in the first round. Last year, your whole team was hurt. John Morant only plays 9 games all season because of a suspension. Ended up breaking his finger, I think. Only wins 27 games. But this year, a big bounce back year for the Memphis Grizzlies. Right now, I have 44 wins. They're going to be at least a playoff team. At least they won't be worse than like the 7th seed in the West. Have a really good shot of being at least the 5 or the 6, if not the 3 or the 4. I don't understand why this was done. I get it. Maybe if you lose in the first round again this year, like, all right, one playoff series win in 6 years, that's not great. Mostly, they keep running back the same squad over and over again. John Morant is an explosive point guard. You got a good shooter in Desmond Bane. Jaren Jackson's a really good defender at the 4. You have young center in Zach Edey, who I was not high on coming out of Purdue. You took him the 10th pick, but he's played pretty well. He's done what he needs to do as a rim protector. You have a role player or two there, but they really need a legit second option next to John Morant. They still have enough oomph on offense, I guess you could say. I don't really understand this at all. 3 weeks before the playoffs? Really? Like, this is just stupid. Something must have happened. I don't see how something could not have happened. I wonder if in the coming hours and days we find something out. Hopefully we do. But I really don't understand why Taylor Jenkins was let go. He was a good coach. I thought in 2022 he should have been the coach of the year, to be honest. He didn't win it, but he's overall done a good job there. If I do the math correctly on his overall record, he was 250, and I think the losses come to like 214 or something. I think I'm very bad at math, but so he overall was an above-average coach with a team. The first 2 years was a below-average team and was a slightly above-average team. His next 2 years, last year ended up being a really bad team because of how many injuries, and this year they're probably about an above-average team. So overall, I think he's a good coach. Shocked that he was fired 3 weeks before the playoffs. Hopefully we get some clarity on what exactly happened. But this is a shocking move, and that really doesn't make any sense. And I hope and honestly expect him to be a head coach in the NBA again very soon. That's all I got for you guys today. Enjoy the weekend. Until next time, so long, and have a great day.